Hello everyone, welcome to We Love Soaps TV. I'm Roger Newcomb. Today we're going to be featuring a brand new drama series coming to the web soon called River Ridge. We have creator and producer Tyler Ford on the show, along with actresses Signy Coleman and Julie Pinson. And speaking of Coleman and Pinson, we have an exclusive sneak peek of a scene between the two on the show.
I was going to wait until after dinner to talk to you about this.
Go ahead.
It's taken me a long time to be content with my life. Not just my life now, but the decisions I've made, right? Sharon, I think it's time.
I should have known. I should have known there was more to this little unplanned visit of yours than just...
Hey, we both agreed that when the time was
Oh,
right...
really? And who gets to decide that? You?
How was that for a teaser? But before we get to Coleman and Pinson, we're going to bring out Tyler Ford to talk about how the show came to be. Okay, I'm here with Tyler Ford, who's the producer, writer, creator, director of River Ridge, a new drama series coming soon. Welcome.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm very excited because of the way that you have supported this medium. And because that's what it's about. It's the future of where we are going as an art form, and your support of this genre is very, very commendable.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'm glad we had you on the show today. So what can you tell us about the show? It's going to air on the web.
Yes. We have just released the trailer. Mm-hmm. It's been a long journey because this show, we feel very strongly about what we are doing with this show. So we've taken our time not to rush it, not to put it out there, because it's a very powerful show. And we think it's very much a primetime film show. So we've taken our time with it. But the trailer has been released, and so far, everybody has really loved what they've seen with the trailer. Now, obviously, not a lot was given away in the trailer, but
right.
We've heard very positive reviews so far, so we're excited.
Can you set up the story? It takes place in an East Coast town.
When I originally wrote the series, it was not called River Ridge. It was called The Commons. And the reason for that was because I initially thought about it being about common people. And they're everyday, they share common ground. They are commoners. They are just common. And in fact, the first episode, the pilot, is called The Commons, as like a reference to what the original idea was. And when I wrote the series, I wrote the entire, all the arcs, all the directions, all the characters, and then I sat back and I went, wow, every single story, because there are a lot of stories. It's a large cast. But when I went back and looked at the script, I realized every story had subconsciously, I injected my own experiences, where I come from. So I thought, what better way than to bring the talent, bring the show to the place that inspired these stories. So I actually filmed in my hometown, which was very, very full circle for me, growing up and trying to get away from this place. I cannot do what I wanted to do in that place, and now to bring the show to that place and film it was very full circle for me.
So we're going to learn new things about you maybe we don't know already.
That's interesting. Yes, probably.
Any deep, dark secrets?
Watch the show.
Okay, yeah. And so we'll just have to guess which parts of this are about your real life.
Yes, because every story I subconsciously have an experience, personally, indirectly have an experience in this town. So it's very real. And also to bring actors into an environment like that is real. They're talented anyway, but to put them in real environments, and it will bring out something in them that fuels the performance even further. So that was important for me too. We're filming in real locations, so I think it just adds to their performance.
Right. Did something in particular inspire you, or a certain movie or TV series inspire you, or something happened that inspired this story?
Well, I wrote a film, and I was developing it with the people that did Crash, the movie. The producers. I was working with those producers on this movie. And I've gotten to become a writer that they would coin a hyper-cinematic writer. And what that means is that there's a lot of different stories that intertwine, intersect, cross. And then while I was working on that movie was when I finally realized, I was a writer my whole life, but that movie was the pinnacle point where I realized you do write what you know. I rejected that philosophy for so long until I did that movie and wrote that movie. So River Ridge, it was like, okay, then let me write what I know. So that's kind of what inspired it. It was I always say this is my philosophy as a writer, to inform and educate first and primarily, and entertain secondarily. And if you can weave those two without the audience knowing, and you can entertain the audience while bringing an awareness to them. It's like a portrait that you're holding up that they don't even realize if it's entertaining and well written enough, I feel. So that's always my goal. So there's not one particular thing that inspired River Ridge. It's very varied in its approach and inspiration to me.
Have you worked on a web series before?
No. Well, actually, I did in my past. I had a series that was not scripted. It was reality-esque. That was on the web. So I have experienced that, but not produced.
So we're here today with Signy Coleman and Julie Pinson, two fabulous A-list actresses. Who else is in the cast that fans might recognize?
We've an amazing cast. We have Beth Ehlers, who fans may know from Guiding Light. She has a it's hard for me because these are all like each character. It's a good question that you ask because each character is so important to me, and there's no one person who, as a character, as an actor, who's more important to me because everybody has their own particular purpose. I feel in the show, and their storyline has weight to it. But Beth Ehlers from Guiding Light, who is an amazing actress, and she plays Corinne Foster in the series, and she's dealing with a lot of economic problems and mental illness. So that's her storyline, and she does an amazing job. And we have Shannon Sturgis, who this is very funny, I did not know that she was in daytime. I knew that she was in prime time, Soap with Savannah, Aaron Spelling's show. But then I found out that she was on Port Charles, and so fans may recognize her. John Prescott, who was on As the World Turns. We also have Danielle Di Lorenzo, who is from 2 seasons of Survivor. Now, 18 million viewers that show gets. She was on twice. She was brought back for an all-star version. Her first acting, she's taken it very seriously, and this is her first acting debut. So it was very, very, it was interesting to see her with these established actors, and I think she does an amazing job. And I'm very excited for people to finally see her in her acting element. So, and then we have a fresh-faced batch of newcomers who are all very talented.
What's the plan? Like, can you tell us how many episodes or how long the episodes will be for the rollout?
Yes, there are 10 episodes. The pilot episode will roughly be about 20-25 minutes. We actually combined 2 episodes into a pilot episode.
It's like a whole season of some of these shows.
It's another thing that's very interesting is that when I wrote this series, I know some other series in the web format, they wrote it and then broke it up with editing. This show was mapped out when I wrote it as episodes, so it's very episodic in that way. Where if you don't see a character in the episode 3, you see him again in episode 4, you're not like why aren't they there anymore? It's very much planned how they're woven in and out throughout the whole season, each story.
Do you know when we're going to roll it out, the release date or TBD?
Well, that's still TBD at the moment. We are currently working with new editors on the show, and because it's so important to us to find an editor who had the same feeling about the product.
Right.
And all of us are in this together. Like we built an amazing cast of people that have the same intentions with this show, and these actors didn't have to do the show. You know, if we're being honest, they didn't have to, and they did it because they believed in it. So that's what made me work harder at everything that I do. And there's always me and Signy, my executive producer, we always talk about we have a great responsibility than just making television. We have a responsibility to the fans. This is a platform that you should be very responsible with. And I think that we are. So,
Tyler, where can we find out more about the show?
Okay, you can find and stay in touch with the show and its progress on the actual website, riverridgeseries.com, and Twitter at riverridgetv, and facebook.com/riverridgeseries. And I also want to say I'm very excited for the fans and viewers who are not familiar with these actors to see these actors in an element that I feel is very prime time, is very film, and the level of their work I think will blow a lot of people away. So I'm just very excited for people to see this.
Thanks so much to Tyler Ford. And now it's time for Signy Coleman. I'm here with Signy Coleman, Emmy nominee, Soap Opera Digest Award winner, on and on and on. I remember you from 80s guest appearances before I ever saw you on a soap.
Yeah.
And some Huey Lewis videos, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Heart and Soul, and I Want a New Tribe.
Yes, you made those videos.
Thank you.
But now you're the co-executive producer and star of a new web series coming out, River Ridge. How did you get involved with the project?
I was actually approached by a mutual friend of Tyler and mine, and I guess Tyler had known my work and knew my work and asked if she could make an introduction, and she did. And from the moment that Tyler and I met, you have those certain people in your life where something just clicks and you feel like that you've known them your whole life. And Tyler and I started talking. He actually had to be at another appointment, and we were just back and forth, and this friend was trying to pull him away and said, we gotta go. And he said, I'll call you, and I said, please do, because I really identified with his vision of creating something that is really socially conscious, in the temperature of this, of our world and society today, of really wanting to try not only to entertain, as he had mentioned before, but to educate people, to unify people, to show people that they are not alone in their day-to-day struggles, whether it's economic, personal love relationships, struggling with addiction, struggling with, whatever it is, that to try and create this series that people can tune into and identify with and say, wow, I'm not alone in my feeling and my struggles, and to create through the storyline some sort of resolution that people can find a way to get help or resolve something. And I'm sort of jumping all over the place, but to really make a social difference.
Right. I think TV's kind of become, as society, more politically correct over the years. Like, I think a show like All in the Family wouldn't necessarily even make the air today, because they kind of put things out there, and then they showed both sides of it, but they put things out there and people related to it. Maybe it was one side or the other. And I think TV has changed, and I think what's great about the web is people can actually get those kind of stories out there without having to be censored by a network or somebody telling them you're not politically correct enough.
Exactly. Because there's, we live in a world that has a lot of pain and suffering. And if you can create something that somebody can watch and identify with, and what we had talked about as well is having at the end of each show a hotline pertaining to a variety of different, whether it's mental illness, child abuse, drug addiction, whatever it is, that there's a start, there's a way that you can make that first phone call, get connected with people, something that's going to help you take that first step to improving the quality of your life and changing something, getting into a solution when there's a problem, that maybe we can, in some small way, make a difference.
Well, I mean, I've heard stories from actors over the years that played characters with issues, and you played a character who was blind on Young and the Restless. Did you ever get letters or hear from people that were impacted?
That was really one of the most powerful characters that I ever played, because of the fan mail and the identification with Hope Adams Newman, that she sort of became a poster child, not only for people who have lived with, my character in particular had retinitis pigmentosa, which is a degenerative disease, but that have lived in, dealing with that. So it was not only fan mail from people who had loved ones, siblings, spouses, children that were blind, but people that dealt with a number of other issues. And that the fan mail that I got, that to create a character that was strong, independent, that was not reveling in self-pity, that just had such a faith and belief in herself, and just moving forward and doing the best that you can under any circumstances. It was just amazing, the mail that I got. I still do. Wow. I still get.
Well, you still have made appearances as a ghost over time. So you know firsthand, as well as anybody, the impact that entertainment can have on people. And it's great that you guys want to invest in that, because I do think you can tell those types of stories and be entertaining at the same time.
I agree.
So what can you tell us about your character without revealing too much or giving anything away? What can you tell us about this character in River Ridge?
She's a very pragmatic, very down-to-earth, very realistic. She's sort of an earth mother. She is connected to just about everybody in the town. That she's lived there her whole life. Her life really revolves around her community and her friendships and relationships in community, and is very, very, I think, very good at sort of compartmentalizing her own interpersonal struggles, and that's going to shift dramatically. The doors are going to get blown off of that, but she's very strong, very loving, very kind, hardworking. But as I said, all of those sort of deep-seated issues and emotions that have not really been allowed to be, to come up, have been, as I said, very compartmentalized, I think have really started to take a toll on the character.
Now on the show, Julie Pinson plays your sister.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like working with her?
Amazing. I have such a tremendous amount of respect for Julie and her craft. She is just, to work with her, she's very, very professional. She's very committed to the craft. She's so easy to flesh things out, and we talked about building backstories and really the dynamics of the characters because as much as you love a sibling, there's always all the sibling rivalry things that go on that take place, and there's issues with siblings. There just is in any family, but a very strong core of love and respect between both sisters. But it was amazing. And we had a gas. I mean, she's got a wicked sense of humor, so Billy's got nothing on her.
Now, have if you go to your IMDb page, there are zillions of credits. Have you done any other production work as a producer?
No, I had been offered, I had a number of opportunities to step in to the shoes of producing, and nothing ever felt right. It just, the timing, for whatever reasons, wherever I was in my personal life with raising children, being a single mom, other shows that I was working on, the time element of what you can actually dedicate yourself to or commit yourself to. And nothing struck me the way that this particular script and what Tyler had written and created. I was just blown away by the script when I read it. And then in meeting Tyler for the first time, I felt that I had met sort of a counterpart to myself, and that somebody in this land of foreign language was speaking my language, and I could hear it clearly, and it was concise, and I just said, I really have to do this. And of course there was a certain amount of trepidation on my part because I'd never done it before. I'm very comfortable being in front of a camera. Give me 6 pages of monologue and I can memorize that and be very comfortable with that. But put me behind the camera and have to approach actors or camera people or ADs and have a very candid conversation about what we think we need to achieve in this. It was a sharp learning curve, but one I feel very comfortable doing.
Would you compare this show to anything maybe we've seen in the past, or?
That's a really difficult question. Nothing currently. As Tyler had mentioned, that he had worked with producers that had done the film Crash, which is really one of my favorite films. It's up there in probably my top 20 favorite films. So the idea of storyline really intersecting in a very realistic manner. That film was so gritty, and that it was just palatable when you were watching it. And I feel that that's what our series is going to create as well, has created and will continue as it evolves to create, I think, in a even greater capacity. But no, not offhand anything on television. I'm sure if I sat down and but I don't even like doing that, because I think that we're really, really taking a bold step in shedding light onto issues that a lot of shows don't really want to go near.
Right.
You know, what's socially acceptable? What's going to be okay? We need to stay on this side of the line. Don't step over this line because, people are getting uncomfortable if you're gonna hold a mirror up to them, and they're gonna have to look at it and say, "Oh my gosh." That's what we want to do, because there are people out there suffering. They're suffering. And there are real hard-hitting life issues. I love that Catherine Zeta-Jones just made it okay to suffer from being bipolar. I have a lot of friends that deal with that issue. And don't let the other, parents at school know about it, that I have to take medication for this issue, because there will be a stipulation that's attached to it. We need to blow the doors off of that.
Right.
We need to make a difference. That's what we want to do. We want to make a difference. There are children out there being abused. There are people suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. And not because that's what they want, it's because they don't know how to get out of that cycle. We've learned that people are genetically predisposed based on where they come from and what their genetic makeup is. It's not a sin. I don't think that you would chastise somebody if they were suffering from cancer or diabetes. Addiction is the same thing, drug or alcohol. And that has been proven by the medical association. So let's change things. Let's stir things up. Let's help people get into a solution when there's a problem. And I'm very passionate about that, because I'm at a place in my life that I've done a lot in my life. I've traveled, I've been in magazines, I've been on primetime television. I've done all of that. And when I was younger, those things sort of defined who I was. That doesn't define me today. What defines me today is, how can I make a difference in my community and in our society? Can I change the course of one person's life in some small way, that instead of going left, they may go right, that enables them to live a better life? That's so important to me today, to give something back. And I know Tyler feels the same way. So
Wow.
that's sort of what we're aiming for. And at the same time, to entertain. Because I think if you try and force feed something down people's throats, they might turn and walk away from that. So just to really to try and make a difference is so important.
So the daytime landscape has changed a lot since you first appeared on a daytime soap. And recently, All My Children and One Life to Live were canceled. They're going to be off the air in the next year. This seems like a great opportunity for fans to continue following the stars that they loved onto a new medium.
Oh, absolutely. Tyler and I feel very strongly about the fact, where are the fans going to go? What are they going to turn to? The soaps have systematically, they're disappearing off of television. And so we feel that we have created this perfect venue, this series that is going to allow the fans to find a new home. The cast will be evolving and growing as we move into second season. We have our set cast, our core that will be the families that will always be in place. And we, as we said, we hope to extend that as well. And because a number of the soaps have ended, there's certain actors who shall remain unnamed that we've started discussing. We feel that might be a really good fit for what we're doing as well, because we want the fans to have a place to go. It's so important. And we've got some great newcomers as well, Matt Maccabee and a wonderful little star by the name of Isabella Nolan. But we've got some really good new people coming in as well that I think that the soap fans are going to be really excited about. We want to hear from people. We want to hear from you on Facebook, Twitter, on the website. All of this is so important to us. We want your feedback. We want to hear your voice. And if people have a voice and make their voice known, we're going to be there. We're going to stay in place. So.
Last but not least on today's show, here's Julie Pinson. So I'm here with Emmy nominee Julie
Thank you.
Pinson. She won last year. She's probably going to win again.
Oh, stop. No, really, go on, please.
Are y'all set for the Emmys? We're about a month away. You have your dress.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was so excited when I got nominated. First of all, thank you, because I got nominated. But second, the most important thing was I get to go shopping for a dress, and Billy can't kill me. He cannot complain. I get to go shopping and spend money. That, to me, is like the best treat ever. So I'm looking for a dress. I'm in the process, and I think I have a few coming from Neiman Marcus later on today. They'll be at my house. I'll be trying them on later.
Awesome. So on to River Ridge. Your last character was Juicy Janet.
Yes.
You're now playing Kimberly on
Yes.
River Ridge. What can you tell us about this character?
Well, Kimberly's, I think she's a lot different than Janet. Janet was very homey. She was very comforting. She was warm. She was a mama bear, somewhat like Signy's character. Kimberly she's got a lot of good qualities, but she's a rebel. And she was one of those kids that couldn't get out of her town fast enough. When she was old enough to get the hell out of Dodge, River Ridge, she did. And she kind of thought that she was better than everybody in that town, and she had big dreams and aspirations. She wanted to be somebody when she grew up. And so she left town and left some secrets and some things. She's got a lot of secrets, but at the core, she does have a lot of love in her, and she has a lot of love for her sister. And you'll see that in River Ridge, but you'll also see, like Signy was saying, the drama between the two of them and the history that they share, and some of the things that have gone left unsaid for so many years because Kimberly was off doing her thing, Signy was left in town to take care of business, and there's a lot of tension between the two of them.
Wow. So what was it like working with Signy Coleman? We asked her about you.
I hated every second of it. I can't understand why. Tyler put me with Signy. It was the worst experience. No, it was fantastic. It was great. I remember watching Signy on Young and the Restless, and I remember thinking what a great actress she was. And here she is playing, a blind person. I didn't understand how she could do it and be so good and be so realistic. And it was great. So when I found out that Signy was going to be playing my sister, actually Tyler didn't tell me that she was playing my sister right away. I said yes to the part first of all because I loved the writing. So when I found out that Signy was doing this also, I was hoping, after I read the script, I was hoping that Signy was going to be my sister because I respected her so much as an actress, and I just, I think she's great. And so when Tyler told me she was playing my sister, I was very excited. I felt like I won the lottery,
How was shooting this different? You had a lot of different experiences from Port Charles and Days of Our Lives, As the World Turns. How is this different in terms of the production?
Well, the production it looks fantastic. If you've seen the trailer already, you know that it looks fantastic. And it was shot really well. And like I said, the writing, I said yes to the writing first. I said yes to the script because I really liked it. I also said yes to it because unlike being on primetime or daytime, you don't have to worry about censors. You can say fuck, shit, motherfucker, and it's what people really say. I just said it, this is the web. But it's what people really say. It's how they really speak. And sometimes when you're on a network show, you have to watch what you say, and so therefore the dialogue comes out stilted, and it doesn't seem real sometimes. So Tyler wrote this so well. It's just how people talk.
Right. I always say, especially today, the soaps are done so fast. If you can get this emotion out of any scene, and you do one take a lot of times, it's amazing. So for I'm sure it feels great to have this realistic dialogue and to be able to. It
is, and Tyler was really good with improving a little bit, throwing something in once in a blue moon if you felt like it. And Tyler was really, really easy about letting us do our thing.
How do you relate to this character? Do you relate to her in a different way than Janet?
Absolutely. I couldn't wait to get out of my small town and become an actress, be somebody, and I also have some secrets that I can't talk about right now. I'll let you know later, though. All my special fans, I'll let you know what they were. No, and I loved my wardrobe. I got to be a rock star. It was fun. I got to dress all cool and hip and stuff. And normally, when I'm on a soap, it's just kind of not so cool. So this was.
You always look great. So you have a lot of passionate fans because we get a lot of tweets from Julie Pinson fans every time we tweet a picture of you or do anything associated with you.
It's amazing. I just went on Twitter for the first time a couple months ago. Somebody set it up for me, and I had no idea what it was like, and now I'm a little bit addicted. but it's fun, and it's nice to keep in touch with what they're saying and how they're feeling, and every day there is something on Twitter about River Ridge. Watch River Ridge, watch River Ridge.
Right. I was
Which
going to
is
say
great.
they're very excited to see you on this new show.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it to come out.
So for fans that maybe have seen you in other roles, why should they check out this show?
Because I look fabulous. They should check out this show because it's great story. It's really good story. And, I'm not quite as socially conscious as Signy, but she is right. I mean, the stories are about something. They mean something to people. People will be able to relate to this. Personally, I think you should just watch it because it's good shit.
So now there's a short form Emmy category now, and some web dramas are nominated this year. So you
Good.
have the opportunity possibly to win a third Emmy in a row next year.
Tyler's going to be nominated next year for sure.
Right.
I'll be his date. I'm going to go with him on the red carpet. Signy and I. Woo! We'll be flanking Tyler at the Emmys.
So just to wrap up, we talked to Signy about fans having the opportunity to see people in a new place, and because of the cancellations of daytime shows, you said you watched Her Young and the Restless. Were you a fan at one point watching those shows? What does it mean to you that those are kind of going away?
It means a lot to me that they're going away because this has been my home for 15 years. It's where I grew up. I met my husband. I bought my house. I mean, it's been my life. And, a lot of people in daytime also have in their back pocket, if they're ever finished with the show, like, say Signy's on Young and the Restless, and then, her character dies, or, they kill her, or murder mystery, I don't know, whatever. There's always the opportunity to possibly go to another show. We kind of are, I call it the hamster wheel of soaps. You always have that in your back pocket. Well, now, that's not there anymore. My livelihood is being taken away from me. So it sucks, and I hate it. And I think that people are still watching daytime. And I think there are a lot of fans. And it's just that the way that the media is nowadays, and everything is about money and money driven, it's just cheaper to produce a talk show or a reality show. And that's just the way it is. But I think it sucks. I don't think it's fair, and I hate it.
There's 21,000 Nielsen homes that represent the entire country's worth of viewers. So
Really?
if one person forgets to register that show that day, it represents thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
It's the most ridiculous way of tracking what people watch that I've ever heard of. And besides the fact that nobody's sitting at home watching television anymore. They DVR things. They watch it on the web. They watch
They watch it on their phone.
They watch it on their phone. Yeah, and don't get me started. I'm with Billy, my husband.
Cut to clip.
He's upset about it too. So
I want to thank our special guests today, Tyler Ford, Signy Coleman, and Julie Pinson, for offering us a preview of the upcoming series River Ridge. Stay tuned to We Love Soaps TV for more. We'll see you next time.